Welcome back to Cyborg Talks Flower of Life. Thank you if you guys been tuning in, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Um, so let's get started with a little ofrenda. Ofrenda. A little burn some Saint Paul. Have you guys ever had St. Paul before? It's very. Or have you ever burned the incense? Didn't really get it on, but um, thank y'all for watching. Bless, bless the internet people. Bless the whole world. Forgive the sinners. So I need to order the crystal ball, the quartz one. This is opal, but yeah, this one helps you stay calm or something. So here we go. Here's my reading. The Flower of Life, Scare Geometry. This image of the Flower of Life, figure 2 to 20, is not only found in Egypt, but all over the world. I'll show you photographs of it worldwide in Volume 2. It's found in Ireland, Turkey, England, Israel, Egypt, China, Tibet, Greece, and Japan. It's found everywhere. Yeah, there's this guy on YouTube. I'm not so sure if I'm subscribed to him, but he's over there in Ireland, and in this rock painting, not rock painting carved in, like it's the flower life symbols right there. It's this one. Can you see? Yeah, it was like interesting. I was like, what? I need to look at his videos. But yeah, it's basically all over the world, as we discussed in previous videos. So almost everywhere around the world it has the same name, which is the flower of life, though elsewhere around the cosmos it has other names. Two of the main names would be translated as the language of silence and the language of light. It's the source of all language. It's the primal language of the universe, pure shape and proportion. It's called a flower, not just because it looks like a flower, but because it represents the cycle of a fruit tree. The fruit tree makes a little flower, which goes through a metamorphosis and turns into a fruit, a cherry, or an apple, or something. The fruit contains within it the seed, which falls to the ground, then grows into another tree. So there's a cycle of tree of so there's a cycle of tree to flower to fruit to seed and back to a tree again. And these 5 steps, this is an absolute miracle. But it just goes right over our heads. It's so normal that we simply accept it and don't think about it much. The 5 simple miraculous steps in this cycle of life actually parallel the genome tree of life, which we'll continue to see all through this work's seed of life. So you see the symbols everywhere. In recent times, we have followed the flower of life image in 18 more places, including Sweden, Lapland, Iceland, and the Yucatan. Yeah. Very interesting. The seed of life. As I was showing you earlier, figure 2 to 12. In the middle of the flower of life are 7 interconnected circles, which, if you can If you take them out and draw a circle around them, would create the image called the seed of life, the tree of life connection. Another image in this pattern, which you're probably more familiar, which is called the tree of life, figure 2 to 22. Many people have thought that the tree of life originated with the Jews or Hebrews, but it did not. The Kabbalah did not originate the tree of life, and there is proof. The tree of life does not belong to any culture, not even the Egyptians, who carved the tree of life on 2 sets of 3 pillars in Egypt at both Karnak and Luxor around 5,000 years ago. It's outside any race or religion. It's a pattern that is intimately part of nature. If you go to distant planets where this consciousness, I'm sure you'll find the same image. So if we have a tree, then a flower, then a seed, and if these geometries do in fact parallel the 5 cycles of a fruit tree that we see on Earth, then the source of the tree would have to be perfectly contained within the seed. If we take the images of the seed of life and the tree of life and superimpose them, we can see this relationship. Figure 2 to 23. So how perfectly they fit. They become like a key, one fitting directly over the other. In addition, if you took the tree of life that was found on Egyptian pillars, you'll see one more cycle above and one below, figure 2 to 24. This means there were originally 12 components, and the 12 components versions also fits perfectly over the whole flower of life image. There is a 13 circle to the tree that can either be there or not. Approaching scare geometry as though you never heard the words in your life. We're starting from the very bottom, and we'll slowly build on this until we get to the place where it makes sense. First, you can see the synchronicity of the way scare geometry forms move together and fit perfectly into each other. This is a right brain way of understanding the special nature of geometry. As we study more and more complex patterns, you'll keep seeing the same kind of amazing relationship moving through everything. The odds of some of these geometrical relationships happening at all is probably a zillion to 1, yet you will constantly see these mind-boggling relationships unfold. Connections, the center. Yeah. The Vivisca Pisces. In scare geometry, there's a pattern that looks like figure 2 to 25. It's formed when the circles of 2 equal radius circles are placed on Earth's other circumference. The areas where the 2 circles intersect forms were called a Vivisca Pisces. The figuration is one of the most predominant and important of all relationships in scare geometry, as you'll begin to see. These are 2 measurements in the Vivisca Pisces, one that runs through the center across the narrow width, and one that connects one point to the opposite point through the center. That are keys to a great knowledge within this information. What many people don't know is that every line in the tree of life, whether it has 10 or 12 circles, measures out to the either length or the width of a Vivisca Pisces in the flower of life, and they all have golden mean proportions. If you look carefully and superimpose tree of life, you'll see every line corresponds exactly to either the length or the width of a Vivisca Pisces. This is the first relationship that became visible as we came out of the Great Void. The Great Void is an other key that we'll be discussing soon. The Great Void is an other key that that we'll be discussing soon. Yeah, you hear that? Did you see that? Yeah, this is very interesting. Yeah, I hope I didn't reread this because I feel like I just reread this, but if I did, then let me know. Or was it over here? No, I think we're on par. Yeah, okay. So these are the wavelengths, and those are vibrations. I did a drawing like this, but with a pyramid and the sun and the eye and all these different vibrations. But they're the frequencies, simple spine waves. Okay, so sorry I'm all over the place, but here we go. 42. Oh yeah, this I seen this in a documentary, and they're in the Egyptian this place, and it's like I think it was like 360 degrees of like time and space, or like something like that. Let's see. Egyptian wheels and dimensional travel. These wheels are some of the oldest symbols known. So far, they've been found only on the ceilings of a certain very old Egyptian tomb. He doesn't even say when. And I can't even remember, which Egyptian tomb, where it was. I forgot the video, but the guy went in there and he was like looking up and he's like, oh yeah, there's like some some system. I don't know. They're always found in sets of 4 or 8. And nobody knows what they are. The world's most famous Egyptian archaeologists don't have the vague idea what they mean. But to me, they're proof that the Egyptians knew that the flower of life was more than just a pretty design, and that they knew most, perhaps even more, of the information that will be shared here. In order to understand where the wheels are in the flower of life, you'll have to study the tremendous levels of knowledge contained within it. You would never get there by just looking at designs. It's nothing that you could just happen on. You'll have to know the ancient secret of the flower of life. This photo shows most of the set of 8 of these wheels. The next picture is a very dark and hard to see details. This is a ceiling, and it was pitch black where I took the picture. Walking towards the right along the bottom of the drawing are 7 people with animal heads. They're called Neters of God, and each of them has an orangish red oval above its head, which Thoth called the egg of metamorphosis. The natures are concentrated on the time when we go through a certain stage of resurrection, which is a rapid biological change into a different life form. They're holding an image of that transition as they're walking along the line. Then suddenly the line comes to an end and there's a 90-degree shift upwards, and they're walking perpendicular to their direction. Interesting. Oh shit. And right here, look, you can see the DNA strand. Like, right, where is it? Right there. Yeah, and then the stars. Yeah, very interesting. 90 degrees. Well, that's like the math, the Pythagorean theorem and the Imhotep. This 90 degrees is a very important part of this work. The 90 degrees turn in crucial. The turn is crucial. Oh, sorry. Okay. This 90 degrees is a very important part of this work. The 90 degree turn is crucial to understanding how to make resurrection or ascension real. The dimensional levels are separated by 90 degrees. Musical notes are separated by 90 degrees. The chakras are separated by 90 degrees. 90 degrees keeps coming up over and over again. In fact, in order for us to enter into the fourth dimension, or any dimensions for that matter, we must make a 90-degree turn. Yeah, in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, he says like they're going through curves and different angles, and then like these other beings, these dark beings, like travel through angles, and they come at you, but he's saying that they can't travel through curves and time and space. And I was like thinking about like string theory, like, and it also reminded me of a DMT trip, but and it was also a dream that I had, that it was like we were in this place, right? Like it was like they're like water slides, but they were made out of rocks, like crystal rocks, and there was rocks everywhere. And then on the left there was like elephant like on the wall that was like spitting out water. And then like we were going in this place, and it was all fun at first, and we're going down, but we go down this like metal, like not metal, but like cave, and then like we're going down, and then suddenly like we're like up, we're down, and then we're being chased by like this other, it kind of reminds me of this other Egyptian dream I had, dreams within dreams, but that I was like doing this trial to be like fearless. But it was like the same figure looking guy, like the guy from Mortal Kombat at the end, the boss with the skulls, and like he's all buff and with a big like axe or something. But he's like chasing us in this dream, but like there's like pools of water, and like water, like liquid, like so pure, the water, and there was like rocks in the water and crystals, and then there's like fountains of water. Like we're like in this I kind of drew a dream, a book, like not a book but a picture. I need to draw it again, but it's like a square pool, and then there's like each corner has like a fountain, and then there's water coming down, and then there's like, it's not like a deep pool, but it's like just like half a foot or something, a couple inches. And there's mirrors alongside of the wall that look like blue mirrors or like crystal mirrors. But then that guy's like chasing us, but like he's like on the opposite side. And then like we go down these stairs, and then like we're up, and then it was like a whole like maze. It was like a trip. But when I did DMT, like it gave me flashbacks of that dream, and I was like, wait, like the hell, like the living waters, the waters, the eternal waters of life. I don't know. It was a weird dream, but that's what it reminded me of. Probably at this point, I need to make sure we have a common understanding about what dimensions are, like third dimensions, fourth dimensions, fifth dimensions, and so on. What are we talking about? I'm not talking about dimensions in a normal mathematical sense, as in the three axes or so-called dimensions of space, and the x and the y and the z axis, front to back, left to right, and up and down. Some people call these the three axes and the third dimensions, and say that time becomes the fourth dimension. This is not what I'm talking about. It's like a whole like this and that. The x, it's all math, and it's just another DMT. Like when I blasted off, like, and I was like, I was seeing all these like patterns, like a math grid, like the X and Y grid, like, and finally I came, and it was that being like an android with like antennas, and he was all like, and he was like in a spaceship. I was like, why the fuck you guys make this, and who knows what. But and then he faded away. I got up and I was like, but yeah, like you see stuff like that on DMT. Like I seen all these mathematical symbols when I was like blasting off, and it was like, and then I seen a video like kind of like it was the same symbols, It was very, very like trippy because I think people that have done all this stuff like DMT, like, you know, there's people draw stuff and they come back. But I also read like last year, like, or 2 years ago, NASA was doing experiments with people on DMT, and they didn't really get into specifics of the tech, but I could imagine like they probably have like all the neural sensor helmets on their head, and then when they blast off, they're probably like can detect all the brain activity. And they also said that they came in contact with higher beings, they communicated with higher beings, and this and that. And I'm gonna sip a little bit, and it's just this one little one. And yeah, that they found that stuff going on. Also, I don't know if you guys heard, like they barely released it, like I think like yesterday, a couple of days ago, but it was that family that alien UFO, or like something landed in their backyard, like some two beings that were like 10 feet tall, 10, 11 feet tall or something. No, he said like 9 to 10 feet tall, but I'm gonna put the link if you guys haven't heard about it. But yeah, that was very interesting, and they're like reptilian looking creatures, entities with big eyes and big mouths. So guys, go check that out. See what's up with that. But yeah, so salud, happy Friday. So I'm gonna read a little bit more, and let me know your thoughts on space travel, time travel, different dimensions. Do y'all think that's real? And if so, leave a comment. But if this reaches other dimensions and parallel realities, this is Cyborg 165 sending my positive thoughts and good energy towards your dimensions, and hopefully all is well. Like Naturo. But yeah, that's how it looked like actually. Like when I was like seeing all the images, they're like it was crazy. But I recommend you guys try DMT if you guys want to see something that can be seen, and you can have open eye visuals. I done those, and then close your eyes and you literally see, like with your eyes closed, it's like you're watching a dream. You're watching a dream. And yeah, I want to thank you guys for all the subscribers, the 75 people. You guys are my number one. E.T. go home. Yeah, then you guys are like seeking the truth like I am. We are all here on a spiritual journey, and don't fear. It says in the Bible, don't fear when all these things are happening, because they already happened. So we got to be vigilant and just be brave, and we shall overcome. Kaya, because I am the all almighty presence with God within me. The I am's affirmations. Okay, here, let me start reading a little bit more. Dimensions, harmonic and the waveforms universe. What I'm seeing as the various dimensional levels has to be more with music and harmonic than anything else. And remember, music, harmony, and they say, you know, God and all his angels were like musicians. And they're making music, you know. So the frequencies, and he says it too, like in Palms, I think, and he says make songs and instruments to praise God and sing to Him joyful melodies, you know. So he likes that. So everything's like, yeah, it's harmony. It's a harmony. It's a wave frequency that's a good one, you know. When you hear good frequencies, you're like, yeah, I like the song. And then some people, you know, like the bad ones, you're like, oh, what the fuck is like, it's bad frequency, you know, it's bad vibes. And so they know how they took over, you know. They took over like the music industry, like, so they're putting all the bad magic frequencies and hypnosis, repetitive, like, um, phrases that are very twisted, you know. So that's just another story. There are probably different connotations of what I'm talking about, though most people who study this pretty much agree. A piano has 8 white keys from C to C, which is the familiar octave, and in between those are 5 black keys. The 8 white keys and the 5 black keys produce all the sharps and flats in what's called the chromatic scale, which is 13 notes, actually 12 notes, within the 13 beginning the next octave. So from 1 to C, the next. Maybe it's just a big piano. Maybe. Maybe. Did I just read this? Okay. Oh no, yeah, I didn't read. Okay. I'm kind of getting lost, but I know I'm having deja vu. But hey, I was turning the page. Okay. It's really 13 steps, not 8. The waves. The waves, man. The waves. It's getting wavy. What the heck? I just had like crazy deja vu, and like I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, the waves. The waves. The waves. We're breaking it. Okay, okay, okay. Oh yeah, maybe the waves are like a time machine. Yeah, time machine. Yeah, it's a time machine. The waves. Or a piano. A piano, yeah, like maybe like, which is like that old school movie. I forgot what it's called, but they have like this thing, if you guys know, from the 80s, 90s, and he was like playing it. What is it called? The Masters of the Galaxy? But he's playing the freaking thing, and that little creature is on, and it's opening up the portal, you know? Keeping that in mind, I want to show you the concept of a spine wave. Spine waves correspond to light and the electromagnetic spectrum, and the vibrations of sounds. Figure 2 to 29 show some samples. We are probably familiar with this. In the entire reality wherein every single thing is based on spine waves, there are no exceptions. There is no exceptions I know of except the void itself and perhaps spirit. Everything in this reality is spine wave or co-scene, if you want to look at it like that. What makes one thing different from another is wavelengths and patterns. A wavelength extends from any point on the curve, to the point where the entire curve starts over, as from A to B. On the longer wavelengths, or C to D, on the shorter wavelengths. It's talking about curves, see, and then in the book of Emerald Tablets, maybe like the good people travel through curves, and then the bad entities through the angles. They're like, oh, like, and just like that dream, yeah, the DMT, where that's what it looked like. I'm doing this, and like he's like trying to catch me, but like we're like, I'm going this way, and then he goes this way, and we're like, I don't know, it was like weird, you know, like those movies or cartoons where like you run through a wall or door, but you're upside down and right side up. Okay. If you're really long wavelengths, they look almost like straight lines. For example, your brain waves are about 10 to the 10th power centimeters, and they're almost like straight lines coming out of your head. Quantum physics or quantum mechanics looks at everything in the reality in one or two waves. They don't know can't why they can't look at it in both ways at once, though the geometries tell why if you study the geometries tell why if you study them very carefully. You can consider any object such as this book as being made up of tiny particles like atoms, or you can forget that idea and just look at it as a vibration, a waveform such as electromagnetic field, or even sound. If you like, if you look at it as atoms, the laws can be seen to fit that model. If you look at it as waveforms, the laws can be seen to fit that model. So you're saying like we have like a wave coming out. Is that what I mean? Our head? It reminds me of the DMT dream, not the experience that I had, where like I seen that golden box with the eye, and it opens up, and then the eye comes out with other eyes with a chain link of eyes going in a spiral, and they were made out of gold. The gold entities. Hello, gold entities. I am golden. I am golden. I am golden. Okay. Everything in our world is a waveform, sometimes called pattern or spine, wave signature, or could even be seen as sound. All things, your body, planets, absolutely everything are waveforms. If you choose this particular way of looking at reality and superimpose that view over the reality of the harmonics of music and aspect of sound, we can begin to talk about different dimensions. And then like that thing from the Aborigines, I forgot what it's called, the thing that goes, and they say it's just like a dream, but I'm gonna take a little break right now. I might come back, might read, might not, but I think I will. Give me a second. Ta-da! Okay, I decided to come back. I had to take a small break. So here we go. Okay. Here we go where we left off. I might just read a little bit more too. Maybe finish this page. Okay, maybe finish this page. Okay. Wavelength determines dimensions. The dimensional levels are nothing but different base rate wavelengths. The only difference between these dimensions and any other is the length of the basic waveform. Excuse me. It's just like a television or radio set. When you turn the dial, you pick up different wave lengths. Speaking of that, they said this video I watched, like you can dream in beta, Crusader the Dolph beta. Sorry, you guys weren't supposed to see that. So yeah, you can dream in beta, and I was dreaming in beta the other day because I was like a month ago or two, who knows, and then all these like it was like I was watching like different television shows pass by, and I seen Elf, like it came up, but also it was on my map right there in the middle, and then the Pacific, like it looks like Elf, but like I wrote the dream down in my book, but then a couple like days later, like they start talking about the elf, that Elian elf, and all these things, and I was like, what the hell? Like, Like maybe that's why it was that show, because it was like based on like real like alien, like some type of alien named Alf. So I was like kind of tripping out because you know I picked it up out of like the ether, and it was this old ass show. Like if you're familiar with it. So yeah, we don't have much time. I think next month we're gonna go cashless, see how that goes. See, and also the Neuralink. Um, see, when I got abducted by UFOs, they stamped something right here, but it was more dominant, and I picked at it. Okay, but see, I'm just jumping from topic to topic, but that's how it goes sometimes. Randomness. If you guys like the stories, so yeah, that's what happened. Let me just finish this. Then you get a different image on your TV screen or a different station on your radio. It's exactly the same for dimensional levels. If you were to change the wavelengths of your consciousness and so doing change all your body patterns to a wavelength different from this universe, you would literally disappear out of this world and reappear in one to which you were turned. That'd be cool to do. Tell me if I'm phasing. You gotta try harder, huh? But if I did phase, let me know. See if I could like just edit it right when I'm talking and just put all the things I'm seeing in my head. I think that's when the Neuralink and how Mr. Beast and all these people. I just seen some random thing. I was like, these fools are like all about it. But yeah, I mean, you can't stop it. This is like part of the plan. So, but we're gonna have to use these techs for our advantage. You know. It's gonna be a battle. Laser proton beam. So that's happening. Nuclear war. And it's like The Watchmen, and you gotta watch that movie because that's what exactly is going on in the parallels, and everything's catching up. Where everything's like a plan, you know, to nuke everything, and then they're gonna create the unity, like more all the governments, right? And then they're gonna really say, no more nukes, everybody unite, global fucking unity, global allowance, global da da da. And then they're gonna fucking leave Earth, and they're gonna make their islands in the sky more better, and just like that movie, and they're gonna go to Mars. That's why you invest in the crypto, the Dodge. I'm not your financial advisor app. I think that's why, because once cash is out, you're gonna need like different units and different planets, different currency, you know, tokens. And a lot of these tokens have like some weird names that go back way back. You know, the ones that are really like trying to be a part of all that stuff. So yeah, I gotta get back to this. Too many stuff. This is exactly what the UFOs do when you see them shooting across the sky. If you ever see one, they shoot across at unbelievable speeds, then make a 90-degree turn and disappear. The people on board those ships are not being carried through space like we are on airplanes, spaceships. Passengers are constantly connected, consciously connected physically to the vehicle itself, and when they get ready to go into another world, they go into meditation and link all aspects of themselves into oneness. Then they make either a 90-degree shift or a 45-degree shift all at once in their minds, actually taking the whole ship along with its passengers into another dimension. What it sounds like is like the Neuralink, because things I seen like 20 years ago, they were talking about all that stuff, like helmets for soldiers that can control tanks, airplanes, different things, you know, because they know like we produce like all this energy coming out of our crowns and our heads, and even like energy, electricity energy, where you can make a helmet that creates energy through your head and your mind, and then it can power like your devices. They already have like, you know, different ones like clothing, smart clothing. So, and I think these are the suits like the Elian suits they describe, like the wetsuits. Maybe they're like that, like energy suits that where the body produces energy, and then the suit, just like in all the superhero movies, they have the suit, right? It's like invincible, so it produces energy and it protects them, and also like produces energy. And I think in the future, like clothing and stuff like that would be like everybody just wears like a protective suit, just like that movie with Will Smith. But I think it's all like making sense, because in my mind I would think that as a kid too, and like why they have suits. They're compression suits, like super advanced spaceship suits, compression, hyper compress suits. What y'all think? Is it that? Is it not? It's not. Oh no. It's probably whatever our mind wants it to be. But that would be like tight. I think it's like that would be our best bet, just to have like a whole fucking bodysuit that protects us from all elements, foreign, invasive, man inflictions. Okay, here we go. This universe, and by that I mean all the stars and atoms going infinitely out and infinitely in forever, has a base wavelength of about 7.23 centimeters. You can pick any spot in this room and go infinitely in or infinitely out forever within this particular universe. In a spiritual sense, this 7.23 centimeter wavelength is Om, the Hindu sound of the universe. Every object in this universe produces a sound according to its construction. Each object makes a unique sound. If you average the sound of all the objects in this universe, this third dimension, you would get this 7.23 centimeter wavelength, and it would be the true sound of Om. 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 For this dimension, this wavelength is also the exact average distance between our eyes from the center of one pupil to the other. That is, if you take 100 people and average them, it also the exact average distance from the tip of your chin to the tip of your nose, the distance across our palms, and the distance between our chakras. To give a few more examples, this 7.23 centimeter length is located through our bodies in various ways, because we are emerged within this particular universe and it is embedded within us. It was Bell Laboratories that discovered this wavelength, not some spiritual person sitting in a cave somewhere, which they first put up the microwave system that went around the United States and pulled the on switch. They found static in their system. You see, Bell Labs just happened to pick for the system, sending frequencies one slightly longer than 7 centimeters. Why they chose that wavelength, I don't know. They tried to find the static, looked through their equipment, tried everything they could. First, they thought it was coming from the inside of the earth. Eventually, they looked into the heavens and found it and said, oh, no, it's coming from everywhere. In order to get rid of the static, they did something that we as a nation and a planet are still suffering from. They up the power by 50,000 times over that they would normally need, which created a very powerful field so that the 7.23 centimeter wavelength coming from everywhere would not interfere. So Bell Labs, I'm not too sure who they're talking about. Bell Labs, is Bell Labs Bell like telephone company? Because I mean, I'm thinking that, but I'm not too sure. So these things like I can look up, you guys can look up, someone can look up, but who knows if these still exist, because this was written so long ago. And a lot of information in this. What do y'all think? I'm like, choose the frequencies, but I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I'm gonna end it there. There's still more, but working in dimensions and the musical scale. Dun, 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 dun. So if you guys like the book, I suggest you get it, because it's very interesting. And there's volume 2, excuse me, and we're at page 45, and there's 223 pages. Whoa, and it gets very interesting. So yeah, this book is very mind-blowing, and there's so much to take, and I need to get like a notepad right here so I can, then this video is gonna take forever, but at least like I kind of like start talking about it like in my mind, I guess, here by myself, me, myself, and I. And thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day, and don't forget, the future is in your mind.